Okay, so this is going to be the first video in a series of derivative rules that we're going to be covering in this class. And this first derivative rule that we're going to cover is called the constant rule. And basically what this constant rule is saying is if f of x is equal c, some constant, then f prime x, which is the derivative of f of x, is equal to 0. Okay? I'm going to prove this to you in a couple different ways. The first way I'm going to show you is just using the derivative definition. So we're going to have f prime x equals the limit as h goes to 0 of f of x plus h minus f of x all over h. This is basically what we went over in the last video. I'm going to substitute in for both of this f of x plus h and the f of x here. Okay, so I need to rewrite the limit as h goes to 0. And this first one, f of x plus h, would just be equal to c. Because it doesn't matter what you put in for this x, you're always going to get c no matter what anyway. So I'm just going to input a c. F of x is also equal to c. So I'm going to put a c there, all over h. The c minus c cancels to 0, so you end up with the limit as h goes to 0 of 0 over h is equal to 0. So it proves my point right up here that any constant c, because it's not changing with respect to x, no change, means the derivative is 0. If you remember from our definition from the last video, derivative is the instantaneous rate of change. Well, if there is no change, because it's constant means no change, then of course your derivative is going to be 0. So you can also read this as the derivative is equal to 0 or the change is 0. The rate of change is 0. It's not changing at all. It's staying the same. Another way to prove it is just to graph a constant. So that's what I did here. This blue is this f of x equals c. And if you notice, it's not changing. Okay, it's staying the same. If you took the tangent line of this, it would be change in x over change in y at any point. You can just pick a point right here. And you can see from the left and the right, it's not going up anything, and it's just going over to the x. So it ends up being 0 divided by our change in x at this point. And you can see that the slope of this tangent line would be 0. Okay, so if you have any questions on the constant rule, let me know.